Hey everyone, I am Sean, the principal rep for Trailhouse Sales Group and sales rep for Outdoor Element for the Southwestern United States. Today, we're actually going to go over Outdoor Element's knife collection and what's unique about these in the outdoor industry. So especially if you are a retailer, guide service, emergency service rescue groups, these are going to be great potential knife options for you and your business. So without further ado, let's walk you through Outdoor Elements knife selection. Now, the first knife we're going to be going over is the Phoenix Talon and Phoenix Feather. These can be bought individually or as a pairing. And we're first going to go over the Phoenix Talon. Now, this is definitely designed for a lot of those retail shops, whether you're focused on a end-of-use survival tool, using it for hunt and fish. So there's a few specific elements here. First off, whenever you're looking at any of the Outdoor Element knife cases, they're designed so you don't have to grab the sheath and pull it. That's a good way to cut yourself or somebody else comes flying out of your hand. So they developed these to where it really just have to push that sheath off with your thumb, whether you have it strapped onto a belt, a backpack, or have it loose in your setup there. So all the sheaths come off with just a nice light push of the thumb there, so you don't have to really grip it. But these are incredibly strong, so they're not going to fly off easily. Number one with these guys here. So you could probably flick it off with this guy. I'm not going to try that, but you can see this case does not come off easily. However, give it that push of the thumb, these all come right off. So what you'll notice specifically here with the Talon, number one, is these are all going to be using D2 steel, and this has a removable and replaceable gut hook on there. So in the case, it's going to actually come with that one single replaceable gut hook, and they are sold in packs of 3, so you can get these replaced. One of the reasons why we do that, and again, that's patent pending, is because a lot of knives have these built into the blade itself rather than a replaceable one, which is fine. However, it does make these shapes harder to sharpen, and a dull knife is a dangerous knife, whether it's the main blade or the secondary blade like you see here with that gut hook. So we have a replaceable gut hook rather than one that you have to continually get it sharpened or try to resharpen it yourself. Those things can get pretty nasty if you are definitely in the hunt and fish game there. This does have excellent jimping on the top for additional grip and control, along with the chamfered hole here in order to give you better blade control, whether you're using this to cut and fillet things like game, fish, or you just want better knife control here. It is a full tang in this, so you're going to get great strength out of something like this, and it's a better weight balance for good knife control here, which is going to give you better safety. And that ribbing is built into the back end of the grip as well as the finger side of your grip, so you're going to have great control and strength. This can be used as a hammer bunting as well as on the top of the spine there, so you can put this on a piece of wood that you're trying to split, smack it with another piece of wood, and it's going to help give you great firewood options as well. Also built into the handle here on the very back of it is you actually have your EverSpark wheel here. So for people that need to be able to create sparks, start fires, you've got a EverSpark flint. Those flint rods are replaceable. There's a built-in spring here, so you can actually unscrew the plug on the handle here and actually allows you to replace those. Again, those will come in the packaging for you as well. Now, the handle itself has been hollowed out here specifically so you can put things in here, whether it's additional things like fishing line. A lot of people use it, and they actually put our fire tinder tabs in there. Each one of those nice little tabs gives you about 4 to 5 minutes of burn time, or the fiber light that we also make, which we'll go into in a separate video. Also have a lanyard hole here on the back, so again, and that's chamfered, so that's not going to wear out any type of cord that you put through there in that setup. These are using flathead screwdrivers. That way you can use anything like another knife to unscrew it. In this case, we have the phoenix feather here, and the blunt end of the phoenix feather can be used as your screwdriver to unscrew your tabs to access that piece, or just a regular flathead screwdriver will do. So that's the information on the knife itself. The case has also got a couple additional features to it. So first off, on the knife holder is you've got a diamond coated plate on the spine there to help keep your knife sharp in the field. And you also have a very large 2-inch belt clip on the back, but it also can be replaced with this nice 1.5-inch clip. So if you're wearing a smaller belt or trying to strap this on to a backpack or gear strap on one of your bags or packs, you have flexibility and modularity. This can be oriented 90 degrees too, so you have the ability to carry the knife vertically or horizontally based on how that is situated. So again, all these pieces will come with the knife in the case there, and again, you can get this talon and you can get the feather together or separately. The phoenix feather is an extremely lightweight setup of a knife there, so you can tell that is very thin, still again using the D2 steel in this setup there. So it is lanyard, so you can actually throw some line there through it if you want. And you also do have an Allen key setup on the back there, and that Allen size is important when we're talking about the rest of these knives that we have in stock there. This knife can be attached to this case actually, so if you're somebody that likes that multi-use setup there, this can be actually attached to the case with hardware included in the talon purchase. So if you do get the talon feather, you can actually attach this setup to this setup, so you have two knife setups in one, whether you have it strapped to a belt or a backpack strap or in any of number of ways. And that, my friends, is the talon and talon feather. The next knives that we're going to walk through are the feather series. Now, the first knife we're going to talk about in the feather series is the contour here. So again, we have that nice thumb actuated push off sleeve there that we have that's going to come with the knife. Now, this is using VG10 stainless steel on our knives. They are full tang. This is going to come with a 2-inch curved blade, and it's actually got a 1/4-inch hex, which we'll talk about there in a minute, built into the blade. The other thing we have built into this guy is the whistle itself is actually built into the handle. So it's a 115 dB whistle built into the handle, which is much louder than those whistles built into that sternum strap of your backpacks that you get. So we want to maximize volume when it comes to any sort of whistle to make sure that in case of emergency, that's going to be a great tool to use. Hopefully you never have to use it in case of emergency, but it's always there on our feather series knife. So again, we have that 2-inch curved blade there, and it's great. We got that jimping built into the back of that handle to give you that additional control, especially if your hands are wet or greasy. It's going to give you that additional control. Very small handle, but very easy to hold and have control there. Considering how small that handle is, you can hold it in any number of ways to give you good control over that for cutting, filleting, and survival as well. That is the contour knife. Let's talk about the case again that it comes with real quick. So first and foremost, you've got a 3/4-inch clip on there, great for the sternum strap of your backpack, since the shoulder straps are going to have those smaller pieces of webbing on it, but it will come with a 1.5-inch clip as well, so you can clip something like this to your belt and larger straps on your duffel bags and your backpacks and even your trail run vests as well. The clip is designed so it can be oriented vertically as you see here or horizontally. So again, you've got a variety of ways to actually orient your knife on your person. On top of that, you actually have a ceramic sharpener built into the base there. So you have a draw sharpener on this. So again, help maintain your blades in the field. Again, a dull knife is a dangerous knife. And then you have that ferro rod actually built into the spine of your knife case there. And that is using that 1/4-inch hex. So these rods are replaceable, so you can just use that to unscrew your ferro rod if you want to. A lot of people like to put the ferro rod in the other direction for additional control. So if you are trying to create a spark with your ferro rod there, it's just going to give you that additional control. We do have that hard 90-degree bevel on the back of all of the feather knives, so it does make it very easy to strike and start a fire, which I'll show you in a minute on these. The black is really a protective coating when these knives are not being used and are awaiting purchase in retail. As you use these, you're going to have to scrape away that black coating on there to expose the material that actually is going to spark and start a fire for you with that. So that is the contour feather and feather case. The next knife we have in the line is the Feather Scout. Now, the Scout is a slightly larger handle, and it is a longer knife there at a 2.5-inch length. You do have that same VG10 stainless steel full tang metal all the way through the handle on this one, and you can actually get a solid grip on something like this. And again, there's no serrations on it, but you do have that nice high raised spine on there that's ridged to give you additional control of your knife here on something like this. This was just voted best survival knife by Outdoor Magazine. So you have that in its handle. On this knife is lanyard to it is again 115 dB whistle on there. So again, very loud, help notify anybody else in case of emergency, or if you get lost. Any number of ways you're going to be able to use this whistle there. This is actually tied directly to, and that whistle can be removed if you want. You have, again, your 1/4-inch hex on this, and we talked about what that is for on this knife, which is the actual ferro rod built into the case there that can be unscrewed and replaced as that gets worn out. And you've got that hard 90-degree bevel built into these 3 knives here, so you can really get a good spark. And with that, you just stick it right into your tinder and give it a good spark, and boom. This also, again, is going to come with, just like the Contour series, the Scout will have that sharpener built into your case. So again, you can keep that blade sharp and safe while you are in the outdoors. And again, it's going to come with your 3/4-inch webbing clip, and will come with that adjustable to a larger size 1.5-inch clip. So you can use this on anything from your 3/4-inch webbing all the way up to your 1.5-inch webbing. This will allow you to also, again, orient the clip 90 degrees in any direction, so you can have this oriented, vertically or horizontally on you or your pack, your gear, however you like to carry it. The newest knife in the Outdoor Element line of the Feather series is going to be the Slicer Feather. Now, with that in mind, this can still be used for everyday camping, but this was designed to be used specifically with food prepping. So if you are that aspiring 3-star Michelin camp chef, this is a great piece to add to your knife line, especially if you want something small, really easy to hold, can be used for any sort of outdoor use, but slicing things like your vegetables when you're camping was the main idea here with this knife. So it has a much flatter edge compared to something like the Scout Feather system here that has a much more curved edge on it, as you see. So you just don't get quite as much blade for cutting and slicing. And when you're doing things like your vegetables, you want a longer blade to make contact with your cutting surface, and that will make slicing things a lot easier. That's why we have a much flatter blade here with the Slicer Feather. It's still using the same VG10 stainless steel piece here. You're still going to get all the same features with that removable ferro rod. You have that hard 90-degree bevel on the back for sparking that ferro rod really easily. The main difference with the Slicer Feather and the Scout Feather series is really going to be in the case here, and this one with the standard Scout Feather, it just has a draw sharpener built in. Keep your blade sharp. This actually has both a draw sharpener and it has a flat stone sharpener on the back. So you can draw sharpen it, and you can flat stone sharpen your edges of your Scout feather knives with the slicer feather really easily on this knife here. Again, the handle has all the abilities to change it out with different colors. You can even buy the aftermarket glow-in-the-dark piece that we make to make the spine and the whistle glow in the dark to make things easier to find at nighttime when you are in the dark and you don't want to have too many camp lights on. This will glow in the dark if you want it to with that additional feature. And yes, just to show you how easy this thing does cut, it is a very sharp blade right out of the box. Doesn't require a whole lot of work to cut your vegetables with ease, even though it is on the smaller side of the blade here. Now, I myself am a 3-star Michelin chef, but I do like to cook in the outdoors, and this is a great piece if you are backpacking and you don't have a whole camp kitchen setup, but you still want a lot of the attributes of it. The slicer feather is a great option for you. And last in the feather series for these knives is going to be the flicker feather. This is definitely a different take on a knife in the outdoor industries, and this is actually a chiseled knife. So you have a straight blade on the bottom edge there, as well as a chiseled blade on the tip. So this is slightly different. One of the reasons we made this was the founder and designer of Outdoor Element is really into woodworking, and we call this the flicker feather because we are based and headquartered in Colorado, and the flicker woodpecker is native to that area, and the flicker has a chiseled beak, and that's what it's known for. So that's why this is called the flicker feather. So we have a chiseled version of all of our knives in that. And again, you got all the same exact features that you get from the Scout in a chiseled design. So again, that same hard 90-degree bevel on the back edge there to be able to help you spark and strike. The main difference really on something like this is you have a slightly different case, and instead of a draw sharpener built into the case, this actually has a diamond coated plate on the back of the case to help keep your edges sharp. Because this doesn't have a curve to it, you want a nice flat surface to keep this sharp as well. Again, the case will come with its 3/4 inch clip and its 1.5 inch clip. So just like all the other knives, you can orient this however you want, and it works for multiple size pieces of webbing on you or your pack, your gear, however you are going to carry it. And again, does have that removable ferro rod built into it, and this will come just like the Scout with that 115 dB whistle and that 1/4 inch hex on there. This one particularly actually has our glow in the dark modification to it. So in the dark, the spine itself lights up as well as the whistle. So just giving you more visibility when you need something like this at night. That kit will work for the regular Scout feather and the flicker feather. The last knife we are looking at here is the field feather knife. Now this is a little bit of a different knife. You may or may not have seen something like this in the outdoor industry here, but you do notice that, number one, this is going to come with our EverSpark technology, so it's got the flint wheel on the back there, and again, the ferro rods are replaceable in this kit, so, and it will come with those. You have a nice stainless steel clip there on the back. It is removable and replaceable, but this is a great piece you can clip right onto. But what's special about this knife is this is actually using these replaceable surgical blades. These are very easy and safe to replace. Does have the locking mechanism, making it very easy to remove these knives. So with that, you've got your locking mechanism here. What you have to do is move that little lever down on the side, and then you have a spring on the opposite to push away from you, and this blade just slides forward and off. This will come with a straight blade and a curved blade. This is great for field dressing use, so if you are into hunting, you have a really good knife here, extremely sharp and easily replaceable. This will come with both of those blades for you. Your field feather knife is going to come with a few additional pieces. Number one, it comes with a soft case here, and this can be strapped right onto a belt or a backpack strap. And inside that, you'll be able to carry your knife, and also you'll be carrying your additional blades. So this actually comes with 4 replacement straight blades and 3 replacement curved blades in this case there. So you've got all of your straight blades available, as well as your curved blade options for your pack. And these are all surgical, sharp blades, easily replaceable. Carry these online, but you're already getting 4 straight blades and 3 curved blades, and our tinder strip. So again, using this to help you start fire, whether it's in case of emergency or for everyday camping use. So that goes in the case in the back like such, and your knife can fit right in front of it. And that guy is magnetized to stay and clipped on. And that is your field feather knife and blade set. And those are the knife options from Outdoor Element for the current 2025 season. If you are looking for additional information on things like our fiber light fire starter and other fire starting devices and camp accessories, please stay tuned for more videos. You can find more information from Outdoor Element and other brands that I rep at mytrailhouse.com.